You're watching Pitch to Production, the show where we take a random idea and turn it into a film, all within a month. Now, without further ado, lights, camera, action. Hey, how's it going? So we're back with Pitch to Production, month 3, March. We're doing crime, intimate, and period piece. So yeah, that's pretty much the wrap up we need. So yeah, point of the show, make a film from pitch to production, idea to screen. So pretty much that's it. We're so far 1 for 2. We got February's film out, Dog Ear. You can watch that now on the channel. And this month we got a special guest with us. Joshua Martin. He helped us make the pitch. He and I, pretty much like decided that we're going to do the Great Depression, talk about some illness, specifically bird flu or parrot fever, as it was also called back then. Psychosis for the medical people out there. We decided to do that. We decided to do like an angle where it was a family member stealing medicine to help another family member, because it just felt more raw, felt more real. So we decided to go with that route. So yeah. Last time we talked about pitch and the idea. So you can talk about that if you want to. I mean, not talk about that, sorry. You can watch that if you want to. But this time, we're going to be talking about the script and what goes behind making a script. So joining me again today, we have...
Hello.
Hey. So Joshua, you fine if I say your last name? Joshua Blank is also a host. He has a show called The Hangout. Basically, he talks about what he wants to talk about. Any ideas we're going to talk about next week?
It's a toss-up between tattoos, which was given by Nicole, or golf or baseball.
Okay, so we got 2 interesting topics. Personally, I hope it's tattoos, but we'll see what happens. So yeah, tune into that. But for now, Josh, you're going to be working with me today. So without further ado, let's get talking about this script. So we know that the 2 characters' names are going to be Eleanor, the mom. Remember that it's the 1930s, so we have older names, and Virgil, the son. So we're going to introduce this by, introducing the action, not the action, but the description of the place. So it's the 1930s. Let's say, when you do introductory paragraphs for the scripts, you always want to do the location first and then the characters and their relationship to each other, placement wise, not, emotional. So we're going to do, I want to start with a motel area. So because it's easy to shoot at a motel, because it's harder to get like a 1930s or a house in 2020 to look like a 1930s house. So I decided to go with motel. It's easier.
As the opening shot?
As the opening shot, yeah.
Okay. I was thinking the opening shot could have been at the nurse's place. It literally starts out with her stealing the stuff, since it's a short film.
Oh, we could do that, yeah. The only thing is that we can't film it at like an actual hospital office, because I can't get clearance for that. But we can film it outside of a building. We just have to find an old looking building. So that could be interesting, yeah. So let's say exterior nurse building, hospital. That's what that's called, right? Nurse building. Or pharmacy, exterior pharmacy. Day. Easy to shoot in day, nighttime requires more lights. So exterior pharmacy, day. The pharmacy looks old and disheveled, again, to reflect the Great Depression. So we actually have to go out location scouting for a building that's old and disheveled. Not the hardest thing to do. Disheveled, that's not how you spell that. Disheveled. There are no cars there's cars in the 30s, but not like, a Prius. So it's going to be significantly harder to film cars in the 1930s. So solution, we don't show cars. So it's just going to be building. There is no parking lot in the shot. So we see Eleanor walking from the building. Let's talk about the building a little bit more. Maybe it's painted and sorry, one sec. Pharmacy is painted in a dull yellow. That gives a more specific feel. Dull yellow. The sun hits at an angle in which everything looks washed out. So that's playing with exposure and editing, playing in which the colors look washed. I decided to do that too because it helps convey that this is like an older film just by aesthetic, because older films, they tend to have washed colors. Yeah, so colors look washed. We don't need to talk more about that. It's just a hospital. So now we actually talk about the characters. So we see Eleanor. So for the sake of casting, I'm going to make her like in her 30s because it's a little bit harder for me to cast like an adult. So yeah, like 30s. What do you say Eleanor should be?
That's fine. Well, I was thinking that we cast someone that's in their late 40s, early 50s, but she is 30 in the movie.
All right, yeah.
Just because it shows the struggles.
Oh yeah, she looks older.
They aged really fast because of the struggles that they go through during that time period.
All right, yeah. And if we don't have like somebody that is 40 or 50, we have modern makeup, so it is an easy process to make somebody look that old. It just depends on how much effort you want to put into it. So Eleanor, 30s. Let's say race variable, because I don't know what's gonna happen at the casting call. I'm still not a widely known director, so I can't specifically call somebody, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna say race variable, and slender. So for what I'm doing now is describing the character, 30s, race variable, slender, but I'm not describing it too much where that potential actresses will look at this and immediately be like, well, this isn't my part. So yeah, making it vague. Eleanor, 30s, race variable, slender, walks along a side strip. And puts a pill. Actually, we want to see that she's stealing, so she probably looks at the pill bottle or whatever medicine they had back then.
Well, because I feel like I have a cinematographer eye. What I see in my mind right now is it's the shot, very close-up shot of a pill, and then you just see her hands take it away, and then obviously that pill's gone, and she stuffs it in her bag and she walks out the door.
So you're saying that we open on her taking it and then putting it in the bag?
Yeah.
Only thing with that, so we have to film inside a building. Not the hardest thing to do as long as we have permission. But it's about figuring out how we're going to get the inside of a modern building to look like 1930s. So that's about
it just has to be a closet.
A closet?
Yeah. What would give it away is her outfit. If she just wears that old timey nurse outfit where it's just like a big white gown kind of thing, and they have the hat.
That's like an airplane pilot, I think.
What?
Is it?
Hold on.
Look that up real quick, but I do like the idea. I understand we're coming through. We're starting on the action. If it's a crime, we should start on the action, right? Let's see. No? All right.
Like something like this.
Yeah, we just have to find an old building.
25. Oh, that's not 25. That's 249.
We can make it. We can go to Goodwill. So walks along a side strip and puts a pill bottle in her. So we can do interior. We can start for now interior pharmacy day, and if we can't find the pharmacy, then we're going to shoot outside the pharmacy, which is possible to do. So interior pharmacy day. Still pharmacy looks old and disheveled. Pharmacy. So we're not going to talk about the dull yellow of the building. We're going to talk about the lifeless inside. So pharmacy is lifeless and pale on the inside. Sterile is a good way to use it too, or that's a good word to use. So pale on the inside, but I want to just display like despair, right? So pale on the inside. The sun hits an angle where the colors look washed. No, but the sun enters the windows in a way that makes the inside look washed. Yeah, same thing. Make the insides look washed. All right, Eleanor, 30s, race variable, slender, walks along a side strip. So we're going to actually say she doesn't do that. She quickly grabs and what medication did they use back then for bird flu? Because I'm not sure. Always do your research when you're writing a script, because that's how you make, your stories more accurate and believable. So it's not like she might not have like ibuprofen or Claritin. You know what I mean? It's the 30s. So quickly grabs medicine bottle.
Tetracycline or doxycycline are the antibiotics of choice. Treating patients for 2 to 3 weeks usually prevents relapse. Clinical response occurs within 72 hours. If you want the spelling.
Oh, cyclin. Cool. I almost had it. So yeah, well, antibiotics makes sense. Penicillin was a big thing at that time, I believe. So, grabs a bottle, tetracycline. That's easy. We can find that if it's still around. I don't know if the bird flu is still a big problem in 2023, but you know, grabs a medicine bottle and stuffs it in her bag. A bag, yeah. Or maybe she doesn't have a bag. She's a nurse. Why would she carry a bag on duty? So just maybe her pocket. That's packet. One sec. And then we have to describe what she's wearing. We don't have to, but it's important to know that she's a nurse. Shows she is wearing a nurse uniform. She is wearing a dirty, well, yeah, wrinkled. There we go. Because why would you be dirty in a sterile area? You know what I mean? So probably wrinkled nurse's outfit, or nope, uniform. Wrinkles, like costume design is important because it conveys what a character is without the character actually saying anything. So wrinkled obviously can mean like sloppy, but it can also mean that she's so like stressed that she hasn't had time to iron her clothes, right? So that's why I went with wrinkled. That's not how you do uniform. Nurse's uniform. Nurse's uniform. So yeah, now we can actually start with some dialogue. So let's say Eleanor is stealing the pill bottle. I don't know if Eleanor would say anything like, oh man, look at this pill bottle I have. So we're gonna see that scene. Maybe Eleanor scans the area. Eleanor scans the area for a beat. Again, beat means a certain amount of time of the actor just doing that action. So scanning the area for a beat means she scans the area for a certain amount of time. For a beat, then exits frame. We could honestly, because how do we convey that it's a crime, right? Because obviously we see that she's taking something, but she's a nurse. So maybe she looks conspicuous. Or maybe when she's scanning around for someone, she sees somebody approaching or hears somebody approaching and quickly hides it.
So I kind of already have something.
Mm-hmm.
If you scroll down a little bit.
Let's see.
So what I had was the first 30 seconds are like complete silent kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It has like nice little music to open up the intro of the short. It starts with her stealing the medicine. It puts in her bag. Quick shots of her leaving the hospital very quietly, gets in her car very quietly and goes home. And then it shows the front of the house, and that's where it says Parrot Fever, or whatever the name of the short is. Mm. She walks inside to the house, and the parrot, or they have a pet parrot or a pet bird, and it greets her by screeching and screeching and screeching. And she goes into her son's room. Her son is in there all sick and stuff, gives her the medicine and all that, blah, blah, blah. And then it fades out to the end of the night. She goes back in, and this is where she gets caught. She steals it again. She does this plenty of times. She's never got caught before. She steals it, and then right when she leaves the closet where the medicine is, she kind of runs into the chest of the doctor who is looking at papers or something. And then that's where the doctor finds it out, rips it out of her bag, and then from there, I don't know. I was thinking of making it a little hardcore. Like the doctor
like she catches the body, like
yeah, like the doctor slaps her or something like that.
30s.
And then the son finds out, and the son, all sick and stuff, gets it, goes into the hospital, and then they get into a big tussle or something. But
I know what I want to do is that the son finds out that she's stealing. I know that's what I want to do. The parrot, it's just simply going to be hard to actually get a parrot to film. Like you could probably rent a parrot, but you also have to consider like the cage.
No, the Baxton has a
Baxton
bird.
has a parrot.
Not a parrot, but it has a bird. I think it's what are those tiny green things ones?
Not an Oriole. That's
the
gold.
one you can get at Pet Supermarket.
Like a parakeet.
Yeah, it is a parakeet.
But that's not a parrot though.
Still. Still.
Well, it is. It
you
is.
don't have to see it. You can just hear
true
it.
that bird flu wasn't just parrot flu. It was all birds. So yeah.
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 It's
If we
like
can get
ducks
that.
and turkeys and roosters, I believe.
Yeah. So if we can find a rooster, that'd be great. If you can send one over the line 888-994-4995 Studio A.
We can go to Miami. I swear to God, outside of Marlins Park, there's chickens and roosters all over those houses.
Okay. So we're gonna do some chicken shopping real quick, but when we come back, we're gonna talk about more script stuff and some more ideas that we can bounce between each other. So tune right in after the break.
Being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, we are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a difference.
Welcome to AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet radio, TV production company, discover AMP2 TV. AMP2 TV is a full-service media company that can provide all streaming videos, video studios, radio studios, and television studios. Call us today at 866-224-5422, for no business is too small to grow to be accounted. It's time for your message to be seen. Let AMP2 TV help get you there.
Hope you grabbed some popcorn. Pitch to Production comes back in 5, 4, 3. Okay, and we're back. So last time we left off, we just found out that, well, we knew that Eleanor worked at a hospital, but we decided to start at the hospital, at the scene of the crime. So close that email. So yeah, so next up we're going to do, I think it's a good scene to leave like the intro, like she exits frame and then she enters to, let's say, exterior motel, afternoon. Oh, you know what? It is intimate. So let's talk about the stealing process. So she scans the area for a beat. We see her face. We see her face. Is she panicked? No, she's been doing it for a while. So she's actually freakishly calm. We see her face calm, focused, determined even. So, yep, she exits frame. Boom, now we have that intimate shot. We understand her face. Her face has enough exposure, and we see the emotions behind her face. So,
Peace out.
see you, Josh.
I gotta go do the show.
See you, Josh. So, that was our guest, Joshua Martin. Don't look for him. Don't find his show. He's not important. But, yeah, so we're going to keep going. Am I lonesome? Which is cool. So she exits the frame. Exterior motel, afternoon. So, yeah. So now we see Virgil. So let's do, for the motel, it's not a dilapidated motel. It's not broken down or anything. It's just shabby motel. Maybe there's like iron bars. Some hotels have iron bars, so the iron bar type. She wears. Oh well, she's still wearing her nurse outfit, so that's fine. Iron bar type. how else can we describe it? Pale paint. And we, of course, there's no cars that we can film, so there aren't going to be cars. So, pale paints. What else can we say? It's an old style. Problem with this is that I didn't live in the 30s, so I can't really give. I can do my research. I should have done my research, but let's say pale paints. They did. I know they didn't have certain dyes back then, so dye limited. That's just for my purposes. So I know how I'm going to color this film. Dye limited. Let's see. People look tired, sick, or both. You know. So next shot, we see. I want to start with like Eleanor just smoking, just like, you know, she's been doing it for a while. For contingency reasons, doesn't make sense. It could. Because it just we just showed her stealing the pills, and then she just, like, you know, is smoking. It's starting her day, or maybe she's just in the middle of her day. So it's not like it's the immediate next thing in the timeline, right? So Eleanor stands near an open door. This was in my head already before I came on. Near an open door and smokes a cigarette. A good thing to remember too is that even though this character smokes a cigarette, the actor or the actress might not be down to actually smoke a cigarette. So it's good to either have a prop cigarette or just infer that they're smoking a cigarette. That's just something, you know. So Eleanor stands near an open door and smokes a cigarette. She hears severe coughing. So because bird flu or psittacosis showed similar symptoms to the actual flu. So she hears severe coughing. Wet coughing, that's for audio purposes. Wet coughing, and throws the, let's see, she throws the cigarette on the pavement. She stomps it out. She's probably still in her uniform with her heel. Stomps it out with her, well, not like stilettos, but you know, I think nurses had heels back then, so stomps it out with her heel. She rushes to the coughing. So you might have noticed by now that I write everything in present tense, like she stomps, she rushes, she hears, she stands. That's because you don't want to write in any other tense. It's just a writing thing. That's what I learned, so that's what I try to continue with. So yeah, rushes to the coughing. Let's see. So we see this is where we actually meet Virgil, her son. So now we got this interaction. Actually, you know what? Let me add some dialogue now. Let's add some dialogue. So this isn't an official script software, but how you would write it is Eleanor should be like in the middle or close, like left middle. And then let's see, the actual dialogue would be Virgil. Nope, not Virgil. Virgil. And then I have to remember it's the 30s, so they talk a little differently than how we do in 2020s. Can you believe that's almost 100 years ago? Insane. Virgil, how are you doing? Virgil doesn't answer. Virgil doesn't answer. And then maybe if she's stealing for her son, maybe her, well, definitely her personality will be a little more caring. So maybe she's a little more gentle on what she says. So let's say, well, it doesn't have to be necessarily gentle, but I'm interpreting her as a little more gentle. So maybe she would just be something like, I'm coming. 1 second, please. Does it sound natural in 2023? Probably not, but I can see a 1930s woman saying this. Maybe not the please. I'm coming, 1 second. And then she rushes to the coughing, so let's get rid of that. She turns her head to the noise, and then she rushes in, rushes to the coughing, and then I could do a shot. I have an idea for a shot for this, but I don't want to put this in the script right now. That's more of a shot list thing, which I'll talk about during the production episode next week. So come in for that. So she rushes to the coughing. And now we actually do a scene heading. So we do interior, motel, room, day, and then we do continuous because it's the same scene, just a different location. Continuous. Whoop, there we go. Day, continuous. And now we have to do the descriptions again. So the motel is, the motel room is as shabby as the outside, if not more. Visible mold is on the walls. The paint is peeling. And I also want to convey dull colors for this. So dull colors. This is for set dressing. So dull colors permeate in the room. Now we establish characters and their relation to each other position-wise. Virgil, whoop. Actually, let's start with Eleanor. Eleanor enters the room in a jaunt. You know, she's got there quickly, but not like rushing in, because Virgil's been sick for a while already. So enters the room in a jaunt. Virgil, and now we actually describe what Virgil looks like. So Virgil, I could make him a child, like a 5-year-old, but I honestly think it's significantly harder for, like, you know, a college student like myself to cast a 5-year-old child. I don't have any siblings, so, you know, I'd have to find somebody else's siblings, which is its own debacle. So for the sake of this, let's make them college aged, right? 30s, they had kids really young, and if Eleanor's in her 30s, then let's say Virgil is like 14, right? So let's say Virgil is 14, and 14, let's say race matching, because it's a son and mother relationship. So it is going to be race matching for this one. Obviously there's like adopted, but I don't want to do adopted for this story. This is going to be biological. So race matching, very cylinder. I would even say like meek, just to help convey through the body language that like this is like a sick person. I guess meek is more personality, but so I can say like paper thin, you know what I mean? Like it's cool to have like little not excessive, but extra descriptions. So like paper thin. Paper thin lies on a bed, sweating. He coughs profusely and breathes shakily. Boom. Breathes shakily. And then some set design. A wet rag lies on his forehead. And then let's see, maybe Virgil is too weak to be the first to respond, so let's do Eleanor. Did you take your medicine? Virgil turns to look at her, a long stare. I also want to do relation, right? It's relation in position, so maybe Eleanor would probably enter from the right, and then in a jaunt, did you take your medicine? Virgil. Now Virgil, how would he respond? I can do something interesting or make conflict, like he doesn't want to take the meds, and if that's why I see conflict, then I'm going to take that route. So let's say Virgil says, No, I didn't. I don't want them. I'll be fine. And then enter. I don't want them. I'll be fine. So yeah, so even though we didn't do a lot of script, what we did was establish the location, we established the characters, we established the motive, and even though Virgil only spoke for a line, we established dynamic. That being, no, I don't want them, I'll be fine. Maybe he's still trying to play a tough front because he sees his mom is concerned. Maybe he just doesn't like his mom, or maybe there's something else that I didn't say. So yeah, even though we didn't do a lot, we kind of did lay a lot of the foundation, which I'll take. So yeah, I say that this, I'm happy with what came out so far, and I'll be happy to show you what I have in the future. And if we do push this out, then all I can say is that you'll definitely see more of my writing style than you saw in Dog Ear, because I'm planning to make this a little weird, a little different. So yeah, tune in to see that, tune in to see the production episode, and thank you, Josh, for being a special guest for today's show. And with that, I'd like to say, and that's a wrap. And we're out. You've been watching P2P Production. Join in next week as we keep the ball rolling and the ideas flowing.